Hi guys, welcome to Tashida's Lit Lounge, where literacy is lit. Today is Valentine's Day, so I'd like to say first, Happy Valentine's Day, if that is a holiday that you celebrate. I hope you had a great day. This is Nancy Clancy, Secret Admirer, and it is a level O. So if you currently know your reading level and you're reading in the range with level O in it from M and O or somewhere around OPQ, then this would be a great read along for you so that you could identify the words and build your reading fluency. And even if it isn't, then this is a great book to enjoy. So I hope you enjoy as I read Nancy Clancy, Secret Admirer, written by Jane O'Connor, illustrations by Robin Price Glasser. Okay, and our first chapter for Nancy Clancy's Secret Admirer is Beating Hearts. On your marks, get set. Mr. Dudeny paused for a second. Go! Right away, Nancy started counting. 1, 2, 3. The tips of her fingers were pressed against her neck. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the kids in room 3D were counting how many times their hearts beat in a minute. This was called taking your pulse. 20, 21, 22. Mr. Dudeny was watching the seconds go by on the wall clock. 49, 50, 51. For the past week, room 3D had been learning about the heart. Real hearts didn't look anything like the hearts Nancy drew. 72, 73. Real hearts weren't even red like the ones on Valentine's Day cards. 85, 86. Nancy closed her eyes and tried to feel all the blood that her heart was pumping around inside her. But she couldn't feel anything. It was kind of hard to believe that she really had a heart like the one on the poster in her classroom. Okay, stop. My heart beat 90 times, Bree said. I think I got 89, Nancy said. Robert got 87. Olivia got 93. Me too, said Nola. Ha! My heart beat the fastest, Grace shouted. I got 97. This wasn't a race, Grace, Mr. Dudeny said. And nobody's heart beats at the same rate all the time. Then he turned to Clara. Is something the matter? My heart only beat 7 times, she said. Lionel jumped up. Call an ambulance. This is a medical emergency. Dude, sit down and stop acting silly. Just then, the bell rang. Everybody grabbed their backpacks and headed for the door. Everybody except Clara. Bye, Mr. Dude. See you Monday, Nancy called. Mr. Dude waved. He was standing over Clara's desk. Nancy heard him saying, Don't be upset. You are not having a heart attack. Your heart is strong and healthy. Then he took Clara's fingers and helped her take her pulse again. Mr. Dude was the best teacher ever. Not only was he smart and funny, he was nice too. No, he was much better than nice. He was kind-hearted. As she walked home with Bree, Nancy thought more about that word, kind-hearted. We say people are kind-hearted, but a heart can't really be kind, can it? She asked. I guess not. Bree was busy sucking on a grape ring pop. And we call mean people heartless, Nancy went on. Like, they don't have a heart, but everyone has one. Bree nodded. Nancy could tell that she really wasn't interested. She wasn't really interested. To Nancy, however, it was important. If the heart was just some muscle, like Mr. Dudney said, then what made people fall in love? The end of chapter 1. Now we'll go to chapter 2. Guitar Hero. Andy arrived soon after Nancy got home. He high-fived her, then slung his guitar off his shoulder and tossed his Red Sox cap on the couch. He wore his baseball cap everywhere. Nancy thought he looked much cuter without it. This was Nancy's 6th guitar lesson. Andy was teaching her an old rock song. It was called Wild Thing. "What's up, JoJo?" he asked Nancy's little sister. Only the way he said it was like this. "What's up?" That was how teenagers talked. Then Andy picked JoJo up and twirled her around and around. It looked like she was flying. "Again!" JoJo said. Nancy's mom came in. "Oh no, Missy. We have to leave Andy and Nancy alone." "So," Andy asked as he handed JoJo over to Mom, "has my best student been practicing?" Nancy giggled. Of course she was Andy's best student. She was Andy's only student. Her mom had answered an ad he had put up on the bulletin board at the supermarket. Nancy snapped open her guitar case. Her guitar was turquoise with little tuning knobs made of imitation ivory. It was Nancy's most prized possession. Holding the guitar neck with her left hand, Nancy began strumming with her pick. It was imitation ivory, too. As she did, she switched chords from A to D to E major and back to A. Yes! What I'm hearing is rock and roll. Andy strapped on his guitar and started playing along with Nancy. "Wild thing," Andy sang. "You make my heart sing. You make everything." Andy looked over at Nancy. "Groovy," she sang in a low, growly voice, the way Andy did. For the next 45 minutes, Nancy kept playing. Andy showed her how to play a G chord and a C chord. Andy was a superb guitar player, and he was almost a celebrity. His band played at Sweet 16 parties and bar mitzvahs. "You were totally rocking the joint today," he told her afterward. "With the 5 chords you know now, you can play lots of songs." They were drinking lemonade in the kitchen. JoJo was sitting on Andy's lap. She was holding his glass. "Andy, what are you doing for Valentine's Day?" Nancy asked. Andy shrugged. "No plans." Then he turned to JoJo and shouted, "More lemonade!" JoJo shook her head no. "I want lemonade now." It was a game JoJo had made up. Andy had to act like a bratty little kid. He had to remember to say please before JoJo gave him lemonade. It was a dumb game, but JoJo thought it was hilarious. "I think you should serenade your girlfriend outside her window." Serenade meant singing love songs to someone. It was very romantic. "What girlfriend?" Andy asked. "Margaret. Your girlfriend, Margaret, remember?" Nancy had asked a million questions about Margaret. Andy's girlfriend had long brown hair, green eyes, and was almost 17. "Oh, we broke up," Andy said. He didn't sound upset, but Nancy was. "Why?" she said. "We didn't spend enough time together. I thought we spent way too much time together." Nancy thought about that. "Margaret wasn't the right girl for you," she said with certainty. She finished her lemonade. When you find that special someone, you'll never want to part. If you say so. Andy put Jojo down. He went and got his baseball cap and his guitar. So, next week, same time, same place? Nancy waved as he drove off in his pickup truck. She hoped Andy found the love of his life soon. Valentine's Day was only a week away. That is the end of chapter 2. Next we have chapter 3. The best babysitter in the universe. On Saturday night, as soon as Bree's little brother, Freddie, was asleep, Nancy and Bree had Annie all to themselves. Annie was the best babysitter in the universe. Annie let Nancy and Bree style her hair. It was so long, she could sit on it. Annie gave almost perfect manicures. The polish never smushed. And Annie knew all the words to loads of songs. Right now, they were all dancing to a hip-hop song. Annie had awesome moves. "Ooh, that was superb," Nancy said. "Do it again." Annie spun around, stopped short, and did a hop and a kick while her arms moved up and down like a robot's. When the song was over, they all collapsed on the sofa. Nancy was perspiring. Perspiring sounded more grown up than sweating. She was also breathing hard. "I bet my heart is beating 500 times a minute," Nancy said. "No, that's impossible," Bree said. Then she told Annie what they had learned about the heart. "Hummingbirds' hearts beat about 1,000 times a minute, but not human being hearts." "I don't think that Nancy was being literal," Annie said to Bree. She explained that literal meant sticking to the facts. That was another great thing about Annie. She knew a ton of fancy words. "At 9:30, Annie said, "it's your bedtime. And I have to start studying for my French test." Bree pushed out her lips. "But we didn't get to look through your fashion magazines." "Okay, we can. But after your teeth are brushed and you're both in your PJs. "Deal," Nancy and Bree said together. A few minutes later, the trundle under Bree's bed had been pulled out. Slowly, they leafed through every page of Glamour Girl, deciding which outfits were chic. Annie said chic was French for cool. Annie said it like this: chic. On page 156 was a quiz. "Is your boyfriend right for you?" There was a photo of a girl staring at a boy. Over his head was a big question mark. "Ooh, can we give you the quiz?" Bree asked. "Then you'll know if Dan is right for you." Dan was Annie's boyfriend. "I don't need to take the quiz. I already know the answer," Annie said. "Oh, that's so romantic." Nancy clasped her hands together. "You're madly in love with Dan." But Annie was shaking her head. "No, that's not what I meant. Dan and I broke up. He definitely wasn't right for me." "What went wrong?" Bree asked. "You loved his dimples and his laugh, remember?" "Yeah, I guess." Annie closed the magazine. Maybe the problem was that he was too nice. Being nice was a problem? Nancy said. "I don't understand." Annie shut the magazine. "Oh, whatever I wanted to do was always fine with him. Whatever I said he agreed with. It got boring." Then Annie climbed over Nancy and blew the girls a kiss. As she turned off the light, she said, I have a date with my French book. So, bonne nuit. In French, that meant good night. Annie said it like this, bonne nuit. I wish Annie had a real date tonight, Nancy whispered in the dark. Then she couldn't have come to babysit, Bree pointed out. Yes, that was true. But Bree was being too, what was that word Annie had used? Too literal. That's the end. So now, chapter 4. Hearts and more hearts. The next morning, Bree and Nancy were in their clubhouse. It was in Nancy's backyard. They had allowed JoJo and Freddie to come too. The sign outside said, Sleuth Headquarters. A sleuth was a detective, and both Nancy and Bree were superb sleuths. The file for their first case was inside a bright pink folder. It told all about catching the thief who had stolen Mr. Dewdney's big blue marble. Nancy had bought a package of pink folders for all the cases they were going to solve. However, the other folders were still empty. Nobody seemed to be committing crimes lately. So Nancy and Bree were at Sleuth Headquarters doing homework. Doing homework was Bree's idea. Nancy didn't see the point. Their appreciation hearts didn't have to be handed in until Friday. Mr. Dewdney thought that third graders were too grown up. Mature was what he said, to give Valentine's Day cards to one another. Instead, everyone was making appreciation hearts. Appreciating someone meant liking them. Dudes, think of a reason why you appreciate each person in 3D, Mr. Dude had said. Then he passed out envelopes. Inside each were lots of paper hearts, along with a list of the kids in the class. What about kids we don't like? Can we say why we unappreciate them? Grace asked. I won't bother answering that question, was all Mr. Dewdney said. Grace, finding something good to say about Grace was going to be a challenge. That meant it was going to be very, 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 very hard. Nancy lay on her back, staring up at the butterfly mobile in the clubhouse. No matter how hard she blew, it didn't move. Already, Bree had a stack of hearts finished. Nancy had only done 2. For Yoko, she had written, I appreciate Yoko because she taught me cat's cradle. For Lionel, she had written, I appreciate Lionel because he is humorous and artistic. This heart is for Andy. JoJo held up a scribble. I love Andy. JoJo said she was going to make a heart for everybody she loved. Me too. Freddie put down the space guy he had been playing with. One for Mama, one for Daddy, one for Nana. He went on making scribble hearts. And one for Annie. When I go to bed, Annie sings to me, he told JoJo. I love her. All at once, Nancy sat up. She could feel an idea taking root in her mind. Andy didn't have a girlfriend. Annie didn't have a boyfriend. Andy didn't have a girlfriend. Annie didn't have a boyfriend. Bree, she said excitedly. Bree didn't answer. She was checking over the class list. Let's see. Whose name is next? Andy and Annie. Their names went together like 2 puzzle pieces. Annie and Andy. It sounded like the title of a song. Ooh la la! Nancy's idea kept growing. She could almost feel it blooming into a flower. Not just any flower, but a beautiful red rose for Valentine's Day. That is the end of chapter 4. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll come back and join me for chapter 5. And please remember to hit like and subscribe to my channel for more stories in Tashida's Lit Lounge. Good night.